Marco Polo and the Assassins. This all ringing a bell? More business then. Didn't get into this quite as much. So the Napoleon soldiers brought back from Egypt. Okay. Napoleon decides like he's going to take over everything. They come back, they're all stoned. The way it goes. The Hashish Club in the 1830s. When does it really start to become a big deal in the United States? This is a name worth knowing. Fitzhugh Ludlow. All right. And he wrote, it was a series of magazine articles at first, but later became a book, The Hashish Eater. Okay. Anybody remember that one? Or were you eating hash when you... Bottom line here is a guy who used to go to his pharmacist all the time and say, hey, got anything new? Right? And the guy said, yeah, well, I got this hash. We dissolve it in alcohol. It's for anything that ails you. Ludlow ate quite a bit, actually showed some symptoms of tolerance, some symptoms of withdrawal, and wrote about it, much like the opium stuff we saw before. Okay. I'm not going to hit this stuff hard, but I just want you to understand the different psychoactive ingredients as an educated discusser of policy, shall we say. First and foremost, and the one we know the most about, tetrahydrocannabinol, and its popular abbreviation, which is THC. It's delta 9 THC if you're going to be technical or trying to pass organic chem. But if you say THC, folks know what you mean. It turns out delta 8 is also psychoactive, but it's not as prominent in the plant. Right? But the clincher here is this 11-hydroxy delta 9. Right? What's going on? Why does this matter? This is pretty much the source of the, shall we say, enhanced effects associated with oral administration. Right? If you eat cannabis, the liver is going to break it down into this. Right? And that crosses the blood-brain barrier a lot faster. So anytime you're comparing orally administered cannabis to smoked cannabis, orally administered, like any other orally administered drug, isn't going to have its impact as soon, but at least with cannabis it's going to have a larger impact for a longer duration. Right? I've joked about this in the past, and you guys still keep coming to me going, I took a fucking brownie and I waited half an hour, didn't feel anything, so I ate 2 more, and that was the weekend. Right? Oral administration has a slower impact and more dramatic. Okay, Meg Haney at Columbia just published an article saying, look, THC pills, and what are those? What's the name? Real loud. Marinol, right? Have a better impact on pain than smoking marijuana. Right? And then you look closely at the paper, and what does it say? Well, basically it lasted longer. Should we be surprised? And this is getting tons and tons of news coverage. Look, the pill's as good as the pot. You don't need to smoke pot. We've got this pill now. And then the one that we're finding all kinds of new things about, but we've had trouble, is cannabidiol. This is often abbreviated CBD. Okay. It may turn to THC as the plant matures. Now there's some debate about that. But it's clearly a cannabinoid unique to this plant. Seems to be active more in the CB2 receptor. Right? The cannabinoid system, we have a whole endocannabinoid system in our bodies. CB1 is the receptor primarily in the brain. CB2 looks like it's pretty much outside spinal cord and brain stuff. Okay? Only active in moderate doses. It may not be psychoactive at all. If you get a strain that's all CBD and no THC, it may not actually produce any subjective high. But it definitely seems to have all of these qualities. Okay. What's anxiolytic? decreases anxiety. Antipsychotic, and now this was curious. Here's the plant that is supposed to precipitate psychotic disorders. Over literally decades, we've been breeding for more and more THC. THC does seem to create some of this magical ideation, some of these psychotic experiences. Cannabidiol takes the edge off that, right? But we haven't been breeding for that. And so now we're seeing more and more cannabis-related stuff along those lines. You got this already? Is this? You know this stuff?